Hey, Tanya here, the founder of Rewire Therapy and the survivor of abuse, and the founder of a nonprofit to help survivors of abuse. Today, I'm going to answer a really loaded question that took up many years of my life. And that loaded question is about narcissistic abuse and co parenting. Do you continue to suffer from narcissistic abuse while maintaining custody and full agency over your children? Or at a certain point, do you make the decision to free yourself of that narcissistic abuse by letting go that full agency over your children? So essentially, it's saying, do I have freedom, but I do not have agency over my kids? Or do I stay in this really abusive, narcissistic co parenting dynamic and consistently show up for my kids feeling drained, abused, and devoid of support system, finances, and everything that abuse comes with? For me personally, it took me about 6.5 years, give or take, where I chose the full custody over my children because it was the formative years. They were so young and vulnerable. I knew that the other parent was such a narcissist that their basic needs would not be met. I continued going through a lot of control, a lot of abuse. It was financial abuse, it was emotional, verbal abuse, neglect. It's essentially not having any control over my life and just having a very chaotic life because it was controlled by this narcissistic parent. And then after those formative years, I was drained. I was completely drained. I had no more financial resources. I had a very small, very minimal support system because when you're being abused 24/7, it's hard to go out and make friends and build a community. It's isolating. So eventually, I made the decision that said, you know what? I need to re empower myself. I need to free myself from this abuse and give up some of that agency over my children so that I can re empower myself. I can be independent. I can refill my cup and I can become the human being and the person that my children will need in order to have a healthy, strong, and happy parent? I think that's a question that a lot of parents stuck in an abusive co parenting relationship, especially with a narcissist, have to ask themselves. It's, do I re empower myself? Do I focus on my financial independence? Do I focus on building strong relationships and community and friendships? Do I focus on having my mental health and self agency and power over my own life? Or do I give all of that up to continue parenting my children under extreme abuse and neglect and not be able to give them what they need fully and be continuously pouring from an empty cup? So I think that's a really big question that a lot of parents have to answer. I think I did choose both for a good period of time. I chose the first option of I will continue to be abused while being the sole custodian, while being the single mom. Then eventually I said, okay, now I'm going to take a step back and re empower myself. Now I'm still exploring how I can balance both. So I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about co parenting with a narcissist, about co parenting in an abusive relationship. Really wondering what other people are doing, what's been working for you. And I think what life has taught me and teaches most of us is that what sucks is that we're not usually given the choice to choose between good and bad. We're often given the choice to choose the lesser of two evils, and that sucks because a lot of people suffer in that situation. I'm very curious to see what other people have decided, how it's working out for them, what they've given up, what they've succeeded in obtaining, and how that give and take has been working for them. You can leave your comments below.